Day of athletics with provinces hosting their provincial championships. One of the meetings is Athletics Gauteng North event taking place in Pretoria. It's the home of big names like Akani Simbine, Semenya, and of course African javelin champion Sunette Viljoen. Another big name in attendance is eNCA's Hloni, who's been keeping an eye on proceedings and joins us live. It's great to have you from Pretoria, Hloni. I mean, the 5,000 meters just recently started. It's 4 minutes in. It's the men's event. How's that race going so far?
Hey Arthur, so the men's 5,000 meters was meant to get underway at about 25 to 4, so that is about 15 minutes ago, and we anticipated that it would have been over by now, and at around 10 to 4 then the women's 5,000 meters would get underway, and that is the race that that double Olympic champion Semenya would be running along with Rose and a field of other runners. So the men are still running now. We expect that they should be done in about, I think, 5 or 6 minutes or so. And then the big race that a lot of the media that is here has been waiting for will get underway.
Fantastic, Hloni. I mean, you did mention Semenya. She's a big name, of course, at the meet this afternoon. Other names as well, such as Akani Simbine. But which key athletes have been in action so far?
So Akani Simbine finished his 100-meter final and he won it. That race was at 2 o'clock and it was at 3 o'clock, sorry, the semi-finals were at 2. And he won his final in a time of 9.99 seconds. We managed to speak to him after the race and he said he was happy with his time, sure, because that was his weekend plan. But he had actually planned to run 3 sub-10s today, but he managed a 10.13 in the heat, and in the semi-finals he managed a 10.24. So even though he did get a sub-9 finally win with his final run, he did say that he would have wanted to do more. But of course there is still Tuesday to come, where he will be running in the 200 meters with the likes of Anna Sochobotwana and Wade van Niekerk as well, and Nicola Adams. So he's definitely looking forward to that. And then he has the national championships in mid-April to look forward to before hopefully getting to Europe for the European season.
Well, have the organizers been able to cope with the new measures they have to apply due to COVID-19, Hloni?
So we were at the TAC Stadium a few weeks ago for an AGN League meeting, the first one of the season, and we know that afterwards then the rest of the meetings were cancelled after the TAC Stadium pulled out of the agreement with AGN because I think there were COVID concerns there. So to have this event happening now is definitely a step in the right direction. But to say that there are far fewer people today than there were a few weeks ago at that meeting. So I think it is easier and it has been easier to control. But again, obviously we know that with every sports situation at the moment, there are no spectators that are allowed. It's just the athletes that are here, and when they're done with their event, they are asked to leave. So there have been a few times when the announcer has asked that if you're done with the event, please can you vacate the stadium, because they're obviously trying to keep numbers to a certain number. There's also the starting blocks are sanitized as well. If you think you've ever seen something that strange, Arthur, as someone who's run before, imagine your starting blocks being sanitized before, just as part of the COVID-19 measures. So those are the two things, that the spectators and the crowd control, and there is sanitizing that's happening, and there are lots of sanitizing stations that are around the TAC Stadium. But as I said, it's definitely a much smaller crowd than a few weeks ago. So I think even the numbers as well are definitely being controlled.
Well, can you imagine that, Hloni, getting, of course, the starting blocks and the starting gun sanitized? Looking forward to those final day results from Pretoria. That was eNCA's Hloni joining us live from TAC Stadium in the Athletics Gauteng North Provincial Championships, of course, serving as a gateway to the national championships, which will be leading to the Tokyo Games in 118 days. All right.